So, if you've been watching people online talk about Amazon FBA, posting screenshots of insane results, living this crazy lifestyle, traveling around the world, working from wherever and whenever, and having more time than just weekends, but you're still not sure how they're actually doing it, then this video is going to give you the exact blueprint. You're going to see exactly how we scaled to over £20,000 in 1 month in profit in less than 90 days, using a simple, proven, repeatable system, not by guessing, but by following a framework anyone can apply, even if you've never sold a product before on Amazon. And if our results aren't enough to prove to you that this actually works, we've helped our friends Mello and Matty implement this exact same framework, and now they're doing over £5,000 in profit a month. Uzi's making £6,000 and Brad, who's making £2,000. They all followed the FBA Ascension framework, and if you stay until the end of the video, I'll even share our free sourcing matrix PDF that will give you a list of the top retailers to avoid when sourcing products.
I'm going to make this as exciting as possible and talk through how me and Caleb went from 0 to 25k profit within 90 days. So, July 2023 we incorporated. On this timeline it goes from July to December 31st. Now that's a bit longer than 90 days, but we cut off here, which is around the middle of October. So, incorporated. We started out with the business model of retail arbitrage, which is going round your local retailers looking for products that are on clearance, trying to make a bit of profit. 2 weeks into this, we had our route planned out. We live about 20 miles out from Manchester. Down the motorway, do the ring road around Manchester, tick off all the retailers and then come back home. On this one trip, which was 2 weeks in, we found Brita. Now, these Brita filters was £17.50 on clearance, reduced from 40 quid. Now, they were selling on Amazon for around 37 to 40. We're picking up for £17.50. ROI, I think when we picked them up, it were around 35%. Now, the criteria was 30%, so these were straight off the bat a really good product. Britas were selling 20k times per month. That's over 600 a day. So it didn't matter how many you picked up, you knew that you were going to sell them. So we picked up the Britas, 12 of them, 200 quid. And at that time, 200 quid on one product was just mind blowing. I couldn't believe I was spending 200 quid on one product, thinking, is it going to sell? Is this the end of this business run that we're 2 weeks into? But no, 7 days later, first Brita sale. All 12 sold in 1 day and we did £700 in sales. I were in my job and I were like working with this guy going, I've done 700 quid, this, that and other. The 700 quid in sales were just crazy. We'd gone in like the space of 2 weeks from selling nothing to £700 in a day. I didn't even earn 700 quid in 2 weeks at that point. So it were mental. Coincidentally, that week Caleb took off work. So he's on phone to me going, we've done all these sales, have you checked seller graph, have you done? Anyway, I checked it in disbelief. Caleb's going, right, I'm gonna go down to the local Sainsbury's, see if there's any in there. Caleb rocks up, there's a big trolley of them there, and he goes up to this Sainsbury's worker and he says, are these Britas on sale? The Sainsbury's worker turns around and says, yeah, they've actually been reduced again today from £17.50 to £10.50. At this point, we must have been the first people in England to know this. And money was low, which were never a good thing. So Caleb brings stepdad, Pete, can I borrow £1,000? These products are on sale, we've done 700 quid in a day. Anyway, lends us £1,000, picks up 100. There's around 170 in store. Caleb ends up telling another one of the Sainsbury's workers that we're selling them on Amazon and they're making great profit. Little did we know he actually sold on Amazon. So, spend £1,000, take them back, send them in. I finished work and at this point it were like, right, we've done 700 quid in sales, shall we just go and pick up the rest of them after we'd already spent £1,000? So rang up my uncle, can we borrow 700 quid for these last 70 products? And our uncle's a great guy. Anyway, give us the money. We went back down to Sainsbury's and the guy that worked there, that we told about them, actually sold on Amazon. He picked them all up, which I don't think you should really do, but I kind of respected it. So we said, what other Sainsbury's have them in stock? Can you check your stock checker? Anyway, he told us that around 15 minutes away, there's a Sainsbury's that has 200 in stock. So we then went to the other Sainsbury's, spent 700 quid, left 130 of them there. The next day went back and someone had travelled all the way from London to pick 130 Britas up. At that point, it was like, right, we know that we now need to go all in on this. So, this was in Clitheroe, where the guy from London trekked all the way up the country to buy the Britas. We ended up speaking with the Sainsbury's manager and we asked, can you check your stock checker app and see what other Sainsbury's have them in stock? Anyway, he told us that if you click 9 on the keypad, 3, 2, and then 4, you get through to the Sainsbury's manager once you ring the number. So, sat in the car park for about half an hour, rang up all the Sainsbury's in, I'd say, maybe a 50-mile radius, reserved them all, and then just started collecting cash off family members to go and buy them. Sent them all in, did a bunch of sales, and then we started our trip. We did Morecambe, Newcastle, Lakes, Scotland, Wales, Bristol, back to Scotland, and everywhere in between. We literally cleared out the full country of Britas. We got insured on my dad's van and just road tripped it all and got paid for it, which was a great experience. October, 50k in sales, 20k profit, which are mad numbers. You'll get to know these sort of numbers, like that margin in Amazon, it's just unheard of. So yeah, crazy numbers, but then at some point it had to come to an end where there were no more. The last Scotland trip is where we got rid of all the Britas in England. They were all bought up, they were all in Amazon, and they were all selling, which were a great feeling, but it were also terrible because we knew we couldn't get any more. November to December, we literally just, I guess we just looked back on the time that we had and just smiled and went, well, that were fucking crazy, wasn't it? You know what I mean? It was just mental. I still can't believe it happened to this day. So for a month, we kind of did nothing, and then New Year came round and it was like, new year, new me, let's transition and let's really take this seriously, because RA is not that scalable unless you were to find a product like we did, where you clear the full country out and you make a fortune. So from December the 31st, that's when we made the transition into wholesale and really started taking it seriously. We did all this using retail arbitrage, which is one of the 4 pillars that we teach, we in the FBA grid, using the FBA Ascension system. It's crazy that just one product can do all this and lead you to 1.6 million in sales within 2 years. It's genuinely changed my life, and I just wanted to show you how it can change yours too on a simple diagram like this. August to December, 25k within 90 days.